from justice. Now, yesterday, there was a notice to the public which indicates that the former finance minister, through his lawyers, have reached out to, or has reached out to the Office of the Special Prosecutor in now giving a definitive date on which he will arrive and to visit the Office of the Special Prosecutor for the purposes of investigations. And so, on the basis of that, the Office of the Special Prosecutor has indicated that Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta is no longer on the wanted list. But they also issued a caveat, which caveat is to suggest that if he fails to appear before the office or the special prosecutor on the agreed date and time, then they will redeclare him as a wanted person and take the necessary steps in bringing him to the jurisdiction for onward investigations into the allegations of corruption and corruption-related matters. That is where we are now. So we'll discuss that matter. President Mahama has also declared his assets, and Domilevo, as usual, has come out to say that, well, he does not agree with this theatrics of always putting assets in brown envelopes. And we do not know what is contained in the brown envelopes. So left to him alone, we should do more. And also encourage the president to impress upon his appointees to also do lifestyle audits. And lifestyle audit is something that all of us are very, very, very interested in. And so we'll also advance arguments in respect of same. The National Petroleum Authority has set new prices for petroleum products, and yesterday, I believe, is when they met the chamber of, I think the oil marketing and chamber of bulk oil marketing companies or something like that met, and then they agreed on a price for petroleum products. I've been joined in the studios by a leading member of the Movement for Change, and he is the head of all the communicators at the Movement for Change. Good morning to you, Solo.
Good morning, Kwame.
Also, I've been joined in the studios by the former PRO of NATBO, Mr. George A.C. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning,
I trust you're well.
I'm good, by grace counsel.
Right. Now, let me quickly start the conversation with Mr. George A.C. in respect of the former finance minister. I'm sure you are very much aware of the nuanced conversations that we'll be having, particularly ones emanating from the quarters of the minority in parliament relative to this subject matter, wherefore the minority leader is on record on the floor of parliament to have opined unequivocally that the finance minister was traumatized by reason of declaring him as a fugitive from justice. He is of the firm conviction, or he was of the firm conviction that we should not have gotten to the point where a former finance minister will be defined, with that nomenclature. Having said that, at least we can take respite in the fact that he has responded quite positively and has given a definitive date upon which he's going to arrive and subsequently visit the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Now, let's look at, first of all, we have discussed it in extenso, but I think it's important for the purposes of background to, from your perspective, give us a background, give us the position of Ken, give us the raid, give us the minorities position, and give us your personal position.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning to you, Council. Good morning to my colleague, Sulu. Good morning to our cherished viewers, home and abroad. In the first place, I must say that it was needless for the OSP to have declared the former finance minister a fugitive of the state. Why do I say so? Because there's been correspondence between the former finance minister and the office of the chief of staff, the former one and the current one. There's been continuous engagement. The lawyers of the former finance minister were in engagement with the office of the special prosecutor after he wrote an official letter to them inviting him to, appear before his office or his person. And so we thought it was very, very unfortunate and needless for the OSP to have gone that far, counsel, because this OSP is one person that all of us know to be a very brilliant lawyer and a law lecturer. And so when he was appointed, some of us were excited because of who he is, Kisia Jabei, a very intelligent legal brain in academia and also in practice. And so when he took the mantle, we pray that the resources needed to be able to discharge his responsibilities will be made available to him. And indeed, resources were made available. I'm speaking based on budgets for positions made available to him, So having gotten all that, and then again, the former finance minister left the office of Minister of Finance 8 months today, the MPP losing power. Right. You get it. And so, and OSP was in office. If these issues, allegations, and co were things that you thought were worthy to be investigated, you could have immediately gone into investigations, when he exited office as finance minister, although he was an advisor to the president on economy. That doesn't stop you from carrying out your investigations if you thought the issues were so weighty and worthy of investigating. Now you didn't do that. You waited till on the 2nd of January when the finance minister sought permission from the former chief of staff and then left the country. We all know he has health conditions. And so when he left, permission same was granted and he left. On the 22nd, when the new chief of staff, the Honorable Julius Debra, took over, the former finance minister's lawyers again wrote to the new chief of staff that in case you will need me for anything, I'm available, but for medical reasons, I'm in the United States, this hospital, all the details are made available. He didn't do that because he thought there was going to be adverse findings or issues against him, but because there's been transition, but in case of changes, we are in IMF programs and co. You may need some answers and co. He was available. And then if any other thing, so I thought if the OSP had done due diligence, maybe he would have known some of these things.
Sorry, just a little before you put
yeah. No, it's okay, counsel.
If you say that because we were under the IMF program and therefore they needed some information, if they needed information, he just wanted to preempt them that he wasn't in town. He wasn't the finance minister at the time.
Yes.
So
but
why would you say
no,
that?
he ran extensive part of that,
right.
the program, you get it. So you may need him, you may not, whatever it is. So he just made that notification to the chief of staff that if you need me, I'm available, okay?
Proceed.
But I'm here, okay? So, and in this digital age, why will you, it's easy to get anybody. Okay, and we have an international agreement with the United States, extradition of
extradition, yeah.
Yes, extradition agreement with the United States. So Interpol could easily be, but the man had not made himself unavailable to the States. And especially to OSP. So I thought Kisia Jabin was just playing to the gallery and wanted the media, he has the penchant for media, razzmatazz and all that. You remember the case of Cecilia Dapa here in Abelinkwe, you get it, with convoy, matter do about nothing. Okay, today we are back to square one. So I thought he should hasten slowly and let's get the issues into proper perspective. To declare him, you are the lawyer, but I thought lawyer Kisia Jabei, per the act establishing his office, Act 959 of 2017, he has investigative and prosecutorial oversight or authority or powers. I don't know if he has adjudicating authorities as well. He doesn't. He must go to courts to make a case. Even if there are some arrests, he must get a warrant for that arrest to be effected. Yes, he has the powers to engage with the national security outfits to go after certain individuals. But even that, you need a warrant, right? So those are the matters and the premises within which.
Before we get into the
yes.
intricacies,
Yes.
the details of the press conference, because I know you want to really respond to them.
Yes.
Do you think that perhaps the special prosecutor is interested in only high-profile cases? Because I do recall that myself and Solomon Owusu petitioned the office some time ago in relation to the All-African Games and the expenditures thereof. To this day, we have not received a response from the office of the special prosecutor. I'm telling you.
You don't say.
No, it was
news, so I thought he was engaging
it was out there. No. We have not received anything. They've not called us.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, so that is why, I mean, is this some sort of legal sensationalism? I mean,
that's the word. Sensationalism, nothing else. Sensational, we after them, and for the propaganda effect, okay, to muddy the system and then leave it there. Can you imagine? In fact, I thought your issue was really gone into. You get it, because it was news at the time, and we all commended you and your team. Though we were in power, we thought it was a good thing because we need to be accountable to the people. Every penny given must be accounted for. That was your mission, and we thought, but unfortunately, as you said, high profile. Let's say Oforiata, and look at the other one, Mustafa Hamid. He wasn't aware. You are the lawyer. Doesn't happen that way. Investigation. Look, when you preempt somebody.
So Mustafa Hamid was not invited?
He didn't know.
Not written to.
Nothing.
The first time he heard it was
the press conference.
Oh, but that's
Isn't that his friends called him that, look, OSP is having a press conference and your name is there. He said, look, and I said something. I was a director of communications for a state organization, or agency. I could there are some things I raised the request for the fund or the money. So I can apply for maybe 10,000 so and so, and that money will be given to a team in my outfit to go and execute the project. You get it? Right. But then I will not be the one to carry out the expenses. So if you went in there and you got the documents, you would have seen that Georgia had signed for about 1,000 or 10,000 cedis. And so if you jump into conclusion that I expended that, you may be wrong. So if you want to get the details, you call me. Once you ask, oh yes, I signed for it, but I gave it to Solomon Owusu and team to go and prosecute a certain program. So Solomon will be in a better position to respond to whatever questions you have. That is it. Okay? I'm saying because I'm in the same outfit with Solomon as the head. I'm not saying, but that is the circumstance under which. So you need to do some due diligence before you go out.
Let's now get into the details of Ken.
Yes.
He outlined 5 different thematic areas.
Yes.
In which he thought that Ken needed to come and respond to.
Yes, no problem.
So he mentioned, for instance,
the SML.
Yeah, the SML.
The cathedral.
The cathedral.
Yes, there's some tax waiver for certain company.
So 5 of them.
Yes, 5. Yes.
Let's go into that.
Yeah, but before we go into that, yes, I was touching on the dates and the engagements. Yes, so I touched on 2nd, I touched on 22nd, January and all that. So it told you that the legal, when he wrote 24th, the legal team responded and then told him all these things. But, to move on to say fugitive and co was far-fetched. Okay, that was my thinking. That's how come the minority leader was also not comfortable with all this. Because to declare a former finance minister of a state fugitive is not only going to work on him, but it's also going to put the state in a certain perspective. You get it? Because what engagements were carried out before this declaration? Okay, those are the issues. Now we come to the matters proper. I have said there are some which will amount to nothing. Like the SML thing, like the cathedral thing, council. Because most of these things were done in the process of the performance of his duty as a minister of state. And ministers are working at the behest of the executive president. Yeah. Article 58 gives a lot of executive powers to the president, right? And then he ceds some of them to the ministers. Parliament has oversight responsibility on, ministers and the governance structure. cathedral matters were sent to Parliament. Okay? So the details of the matter, I have seen certain documents by one of the international audit firms that, you know, I think about 2020 or 2024, they audited the cathedral books and co, and they didn't find anything untoward there. So that is one aspect. So Parliament approved some of the expenses and co. People have made the argument that there were some expenses carried out and then later reported to Parliament. That's also allowed. If you go into contingency and you use it and then you bring the report later, it's done. Some make the argument that it wasn't contingent. Well, when you invite him, he will tell you the basis for the contingency.
Let's just get some clarity.
Yes,
if you have to expend public funds,
yes,
you need to seek approval, correct?
Yes.
I mean, but the finance minister have that approval to spend?
Yes.
Did he get the approval to spend?
But
Did he get the approval to spend?
Yeah, because I know he's presented a budget, and the president in his sonar, the first one, there was a seed money issue. There was a seed
because
money,
I do know, and I'm sure all of us are aware that even in respect of the cathedral,
yes,
we were made to understand that the state was not going to bear any such costs.
No, but the state was given a seed. The state. It was in the first budget.
But I'm saying
it was in that
yes,
budget.
I'm saying that we were made to, you know.
Yes.
But again.
So in the form of land, in the form of, you know, some initial amount, budget was made for that. Yes. That's a different matter.
Yes. Procurement and all of that.
Yes.
You know, must go through the right channels. Must go through the right.
Yes.
Because even in the case of the SML matter, right?
Yes.
They make reference to, I think JRA came and responded to the release from Fourth Estate, in which response they indicated that they had complied with Section 40 of the Public Procurement Act, which gives them the right to do single or sole sourcing, right? Yeah. And they gave instances where sole sourcing was plausible. Yeah. But in this particular situation, according to many, including myself, we have the firm belief, fortified by the exigencies of the time, that there was no sense of urgency for which reason SML could have been given, you know, that contract to particularly even get into, because they were upstream and then they gave them the downstream plus metals and minerals. And if you look at how much was made in terms of profit, you know, it's very staggering, because we are, as a nation, for even the minerals and the metals, we are looking at about some 3.7 million ounces of gold daily, right? So if you are looking at that, and then they are making 0.75% of that, that means they were making about $500 million on the 3.7 million ounces of gold. Now, if you look at their own internal arrangement, the explanation that we are given is that when they get the rock, they crush the rocks and they take it to the gold room where they extract the minerals. There are people who are there who are supposed to ensure compliance, who are supposed to ensure that the revenue that is supposed to come to the state is done without any externalities or without any external influences, etc. When the gold is exported, because we don't refine gold in Ghana, when gold is exported to the airport, it is accompanied by, I believe, customs, you know, and people represented from PMMC and all of that. So they did not see the need for SML being given the contract to do the exact same job which was being done by, you know, the state institutions. And that is why it's a little obfuscated, you know, and ought to be clarified. And so in the final analysis, if it turns out that these were legitimate contracts that were awarded and that due process was followed, I don't think that anybody would have a problem with that.
So,
but again,
that's why you need his presence.
Exactly.
Yes,
So we reserve the right, really. We reserve the right as a nation to know exactly what went into those contracts.
Nobody is disputing that, Council. Nobody is disputing that. We are talking about the process of inviting him and getting him. Okay? And so that is what the OSP decided to run ahead of himself. All the issues you've put on the table are legit. You get it? And his reasoning for engaging SML is also legit, in my estimation. I've had the privilege as a member of government communications team then to have met with the GRA Customs Division and others to clarify the matter, because we thought, okay, this is the conversation out there. You are the professionals. What do you think? Okay, in your position, you think it was needless? Or they told us about the benefits they got when, you know, that engagement is there.
But it turned out to be false, because per the investigation report that we received from Fourth Estate, you recall that SML is on record, and I think it was even captured on their website, that they had saved the state some 3 billion or 30 billion, I've forgotten, 3 billion. You know, and then later they came to deny that they had not said that, and that they had not saved the state 3 billion. I mean, these are red flags that you cannot gloss over.
Oh no, but they came out and gave us the engagement, what they got, and everything. They have the records there. So once you interrogate, once there's this conversation between the former minister who gave out the contract and then, you know, those the participants, the players, definitely we'll get to know whether it was necessary or not. Running up on that aspect is the matter. I am excited about SML and Co, because there was a Kelly Jivich in the telcos, okay, and so that also helped in the reduction of SIM box fraud cases and other things. You get it? Some agree, some disagree, but I've also in that case again, I've had the privilege as a government communicator to be in a workshop where they were invited to give us, you know, what's the issue.
Obviously, you will be invited.
Yes.
You know, at the point where the contract has concluded.
Yes. As a government,
you will not be part of the paper.
So if you have problem with the award process and co, I ain't got no problem with that. That is the matter. They will get to explain that. But the benefits thereof, okay, from the contract, we need to look at that.
Right.
So I think the OSP should be asked and get his things done properly. This time, I've not, let me touch 1 second on that.
Yes, please.
Now taking him off the
wanted list.
The wanted list and co. Yes, he said initially there was an indefinite, he's going to be outside of the jurisdiction indefinitely, and so he thought it was not proper to accept that. And so now there's been an engagement which says between 14th to the end of May. He's likely, because he's likely to undergo surgery and all that. So between 14th to 31st of May, he'll be available within the jurisdiction. That is the reason for him lifting that thing. I thought if he had been a bit careful, you know, and engaged, we wouldn't have got into this.
You wouldn't know that. Maybe
he gets his excitement in media razzmatazz. You get it? That is what makes him feel good. Look at that. His voice, his tone was not proper. You get it? As if you've established that there's a criminal conduct. Okay? Your investigation has concluded. Because, counsel, you know, once you're about to begin investigation and you make it open in the media, if there are certain hidden things that will aid you, people can take it.
All right, thank you very much. So, in your analysis, maybe, let me introduce Hamza Sungini. Hamza.
Yes, sir.
Now, lawyer Hamza.
Always have been.
No, you are not a lawyer in Ghana.
Maybe, yeah.
So if I say now lawyer Hamza in Ghana, you are now a lawyer in this jurisdiction. Welcome to the bar.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
I trust all is well.
Well, we survived.
He fought with me profusely for, you know, he's a brother. And when H.E. Allen decided to walk on this path with me, in fact, even me, I didn't know, you know. But, you know, he thought that he should have been one of the first people, and it's true. So let me apologize on this platform.
Brilliant. So forgive
that. You're just waiting for me to apologize on the platform. I've done that. Now we are brothers again.
Brothers, of course.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
So Mr. Usu, I mean, there are other schools of thought who are also of the view, albeit that is not backed by any scientific evidence, that maybe the OSP is deliberately muddying the waters so that the current Attorney General may not necessarily focus his lenses on Ken Ofori-Atta. So maybe in your analysis, if you want to also look at that possibility.
That has always been, man. If I broken that theory, if you have been on the street for long, you would understand. You would understand what is playing out here. And the time Ghanaians would understand it, it would have been too late. What have we been treated to? Right now, he has come back to withdraw the wanted. His official statement does not state the date that he's coming. Yep. So I'm very surprised that people are quoting 18 May. If you read the OSP's own OSP in the press release, so where are you getting? You see, these are all part of the strategy. Yeah. And I'm telling you, you'll be left to go off the hook. It will be business as usual. I'm also surprised that
my source is Joy this morning.
But that we are dealing with it. You see, this is the official press release.
So they send it to me. I think I may have.
I'll let me send it to you.
I saw it on Twitter, but
I picked it from their own their handle. So clearly, it is getting to all what some of us thought will happen. In terms of whether or not Ken Ofori-Atta has questions to answer. Yeah. There is no doubt about it. And you see, our democracy will never be the same. Ghana will go to the bottom pit if Ken Ofori-Atta is left to go unpunished. How? You see, you can behave as though he did everything within the confines of the law. But don't forget that public officials have a responsibility to safeguard the purse or the resources that are put in their disposal or their disposal. A typical case in point is the SML. SML. When I watched the documentary, Mustafa Hamid himself, who is also a government official from the MPP, disagreed and said there was no need, totally needless. Because if you look at the
MPA Mustafa Hamid.
MPA Mustafa Hamid. Because if you look at the operations of SML had placed their meters at the loading point.
Yes.
Doing the same thing. And if you go to MP, they have what you call ERDMS. That's the Enterprise Relational Data Management System.
They do all of that.
They do all of that, and they are linked to the ICOMS.
Yeah, the ICOMS. Yeah, I see
UMS.
Yeah.
So, what was the business of SML?
Yeah.
Now, even if you are doing that, why you are able to identify or determine the total amount of taxes or tax revenue due the state, it's not at the loading point. You can never determine any taxes at the loading point because it's at the where it's at the pumps, the OMCs.
I know.
When they sell, that's where you can determine. Why were they not having their meters at the pumps or at the various stations? It's a total pure scam. They have come to scam everybody. And nobody must try to justify this misbehavior. You go to the, what's the name? The PDS. What they have started as the BXC or whatever. That is PDS. The ECG contract.
Yeah. Yes.
Two entities.
The Chinese company.
Yeah, the Chinese company. Why did
Beijing something.
Yeah, Beijing. The only reason they were taken out of the tender was that they were already having an existing contract with the ECG. So, Kwame, I have a contract with Pan Africa, and Pan Africa advertises that it is offloading or it is looking for suppliers to do different things. Can't I tender again?
You can tender.
They did that. You removed them and gave the company, ECG company, to Miracle. I made a pretext that Miracle was going to invest close to $500 million into the operations of ECG. American government was going to bring $450 million. Miracle did not bring a cent. Rather, even the insurance guarantee that they were supposed to do, they did what you call work and pay. It's your own money. The money that you've been using to buy power, they mobilized it and used it to pay the insurance guarantee. So what are we talking about? The National Cathedral. He went to Parliament during the censorship motion or whatever to say that he took it from the contingency vote. I am happy to tell you that there is nothing at the Ministry of Finance called contingency vote. So I was wondering what the parliamentarians were doing there. In terms of destruction of the economy, he must explain. And here I agree with him sometimes too, that what were the parliamentarians doing, because they were also approving the laws. How can you have a finance minister whose interest was only to borrow, and whenever he borrowed, he benefited from it through the interbank? These are matters that have to be investigated to shape our politics. But as usual, it's not going to go anywhere. It is just media razzmatazz, as you put it. Now he's going to be left off the hook. He's not going to come. Even when it comes, it's going to be like this. We are going to go to court. The Attorney General who has been appointed now must take over investigations. So that we will see to the end of this. Other than that, the Dr. Michael Ejekumado that died because of frustration. His memories will never forgive this country. That as a result of closing banks that needed 9 billion, we used almost 25 billion to collapse 9 billion business. And they've been going around telling us that they saved close to 3.7 million depositors' money. So as for Ken Ofori-Atta, he has a lot of questions to answer, but I don't have confidence in the system. I don't have it. And that is what we have been doing to ourselves all these years. It's a matter of just make all the political rhetorics. You get the power. You look at the largesse that comes with power and say, oh, after all, let me also mind my business and get whatever I want. And there we go. At the end of the day, cholera will expose us.
Yep. The meningitis.
Is it not interesting? The man that was supposed to invest in our hospital facilities, the Kolebus, the UGMCs, the Konfanochi. Interest, the Konfanochi needed money to renovate that place for you and I to be visiting there. It took La Sulala Otunfo to be begging the citizenry to pay for him to renovate it. The finance minister says he's sick. Where is he? Mayo Clinic, the topmost hospital for a medical facility in the United States of America. So you that is going around saying you will not allow them to be prosecuted. You, when you are even sick, getting money to go to cheap compound clinic, you don't have it. And that is why I agree with Gary Nimakun, the legal director of the New Patriotic Party, when he says the NPP rushed in conducting that press conference, and that Nana B never consulted him, and if he had consulted him, he would have advised him to stay out of this press conference. In any case, what was the Nana B's interest in this press conference? Is the NPP on trial? Has the NPP party been invited to come and face trial?
It's an individual.
Individual who
an appointee.
Absolutely.
Who perhaps may not even have a party card.
So you see, it is giving us a clue that, hey, a lot of people feel they have done certain things untoward, that if they allow this kind of Ofori-Atta thing to suffice, Charlie,
opening the Pandora's box.
Absolutely. So come in, let's fight it before it gets to us. And that is purely what is happening. Some of us need this country for only 1 month. You need to clean the mess in it. You understand? He is sitting at Mayo Clinic writing letters to us. In the first instance, the OSB said he didn't trust the letter that came from the medical doctor. So how can you trust the letter that is coming from their lawyer? So short a time. All of a sudden, you believe in what they are saying. So it comes back to how we want to help this country to develop. That way to develop this country. It's not the requirement. We are lying to ourselves. But let me say that President Mahama must still remember what he told the people of this country. That on his inauguration day, the only thing that received applause was when he said he would deal with the issues of corruption, accountability. That was the only thing. The Ghanaian is not interested. Mind you, when you go to our villages, they are not interested in your the big things.
Okay.
What they abhor is stealing their money.
But they need boreholes.
They need boreholes.
They're stealing their money, so they are not getting their boreholes.
That is it.
Yeah.
Look at the amount of money that we always mention as having gone into the waste.
You know, there's a friend of mine who was taking aback when we were mentioning dollars as though it's just...
Can you imagine?
You people are mentioning $1 million.
As if it's
nothing. You
in this country.
$1 million, $100,000, like
They be saying
let's
just
mention
like
it
that.
as if it's nothing. Even in America, that's a lot of money.
Hey.
You are talking about $1 million.
$1 million.
In America,
Even 50,000
USD.
Somebody has never seen that before.
Yes.
Yeah, but in Africa, you
The
know.
entire year you
will never get it.
No.
But here, politicians come, they get it with ease. So please, I believe the New Patriotic Party as a party must not dabble in this matter.
Yeah, and look, one thing that I like is the fact that we are putting PR behind what we are doing,
Yes.
so that at least people can follow.
Yes.
What I'm not happy about is the fact that we are focused solely on particular individuals. Because look, so it may interest you to know that there are people who have stolen our monies, who are not popular, who are just there.
Look, I have a friend in the banking sector. I will conceal the name in the bank. He told me one day a minister of the last administration deposited $10 million in his account.
Yeah.
The guy couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And I'm happy you have brought the issue of the All Africa Games.
Yes.
We petitioned you, the OSP, that someone looked straight into our faces and told us he used $15 million to cook for 5,000 analysts. Even our checks indicate that the analysts that came, they didn't eat.
I think we need to call for another press conference.
Yes, it's very important.
Instruct the office of the special prosecutor.
Yes.
To proceed to investigate.
Because you know why? That the gentleman who was at the sports ministry, Mustafa Yusuf, if what Fourth Estate is saying is anything to go by, he was also the same person that was in charge of national service. Then we are told that a lot of ghost names have been added. So why don't we investigate these matters? But was it the case that, or is it the case that because Nanabi was also at the national service, that's why he decided to do this press conference, because he sees something coming? Not just there alone. Cases like Sicily Adapa, by now we should be investigating that $48 million or so that we claim we used in the silted order. By now we must be investigating.
Investigating when Auditor General's report.
Which Auditor General's report? Auditor General's report. Our money is missing.
Propaganda.
Our money is missing. $43 million or $48 million. We found dollars under someone's bed. You say Auditor General's report. What are we talking about? Now, if this administration really wants to deal with corruption, your work is cut out. Just go and pick the report written by Professor Frimpong Boateng in terms of Galamsey and all the top. If they are there, he mentioned names. You don't need anybody.
So for your time matter, that's what you are talking about.
Everything is inside.
Cocktail.
But I'm even surprised that you didn't get something. You see, and this business of saying that the GRA said SML did something right there. GRA itself.
We have to investigate.
No, even customs question the decision by government to engage SML. On tape. They said they couldn't believe it because what SML came in. And in fact, Christian Soti, who is supposed to be the managing director of SML, admitted that all the things that they had written on their website, that they were doing, checking dilution, diversion, under invoicing, that was all part of their work. So what were they doing that they were entitled to? Oh, you didn't watch. You see, that's the problem.
They said some of those things, but later.
No, but later.
They deleted it.
Let the OSP go into the
The OSP is not going to the matter.
That's all.
So thank you.
So I don't know where you were gallivanting all over.
Why is it that you are you also part of the booty?
Mr. Donezi.
You are my brother. Why the 20 I have to do my work.
All right. You know,
You are here to say.
Hamza, I do recall when we sent the petition to the office of the special prosecutor. We went so in the belief that it would, beyond its love for fame and things like that, will put the interests of the Ghanaian people first. we sent the petition to the office in the hope that on the basis of the history of responding, with speed to Okudjeto's requests and demands, he would attend to our request with the same speed. He didn't do that. He did not. So it beggars belief, and which is why people don't trust the office. Because I've had discussions with some colleagues of mine, lawyers, who are saying that they don't even believe that these so-called letters which were written to the correspondence between the office and Ken Ofori-Atta was done in good faith. They even believe that they are just finding a way of maybe making it a foolish case in the final analysis, because they don't want the Attorney General to veer into these matters. They just want to start it and then drop it. So, this is a serious matter.
My brother.
Yes, sir.
Good morning to our cherished
Yes, sir.
and of course to my colleagues in the studio.
We are waiting for the appointment. It has kept long. It has kept long.
And they say if you don't go and pray hard.
They say if you don't be, the appointment is not Callisto. You
don't get an appointment. Well, the reality, unfortunately, is that we have always argued, especially those of us in the National Democratic Congress and those who campaign for change. Doesn't matter whether you are part of the NDC or not. I think the general consensus was the fact that there was a need for this country to be reset.
Yeah.
So many problems were wrong with our country in terms of even our institutional architecture and those who were taxed by the then regime to man them. The OSB's office is no exception, my brother. So for some of us, we expect the resetting to go to that stage too. Because some of them, at least there is the need for them to go. For us to see how we can bring people who are actually committed to the national project and not just to pettiness and partisanship. And when I look at the work of the OSP, that is all I see. Pettiness, lack of emotional intelligence, and to a very reasonable extent, very picky in terms of what he believes will catch the media space. But the bulk of the work that needs to be done is not being done. Look, I will be hugely disappointed if at the end of President Mohammed's tenure, we fail to bring especially Ken Ofori-Atta to book. It will take a miracle to even make me part of the NDC's communication team or continue to be part of the NDC's communication team. To be honest with you.
Prejudice.
And it will take a miracle.
Prejudice.
It will take a miracle. My brother, it will take a miracle for me to actually continue to be a member of the National Democratic Congress. Because look, as a young person, I have had unflinching faith in the politics of the National Democratic Congress, especially when it comes to its approach to corrupt officials. In the last administration, when President Mills emerged, I was hugely disappointed in terms of how we confronted corruption-related matters. Under President Mahama, I equally had my reservations. So I anticipated that we would be third time lucky. We would go back to the principles of probity and accountability and ensure that those who have taken this country for granted in the last 8 years are brought to face the full rigors of the law. And for many of us, there would be no justice without the likes of Ken Ofori-Atta being called upon to account for their stewardship. And so that point should not be lost on anybody. But that does not mean, my brother, that in rooting for justice, we must do so using unjust means. That is not why the people voted for us. And that is where my disappointment with the conduct of the OSP comes in. We all know that clearly, per the Special Prosecutors Act, he has the powers of the police when it comes to matters of arrest.
Absolutely.
What it simply means is that under our criminal code, under section 10 and probably 12, he can exercise the right to arrest without a warrant and also arrest with a warrant. When he declared that Ken Ofori-Atta was a fugitive, at the time he made that declaration and the correspondences that he made public, there was nowhere in those correspondences that he intimated to the Ken Ofori-Atta that indeed he wanted to exercise any of these two powers of arrest. What it simply means, for the benefit of the layman, is that he was not arresting Ken Ofori-Atta. He had not indicated to him that he was going to exercise his powers to either arrest him with a warrant or arrest him without a warrant. So on what basis he was being invited to come grant an interview and help in investigations? Am I right? So, and if you are invited to support investigations, indeed, it is also within your right to exercise that right not to cooperate and indicate that the investigative authority can go ahead and do their work and you meet them in court. The old man had that right. It is enshrined in our laws. He can actually decide to sleep in his house and wait until such a time that he is properly charged. Not so, then he goes to court with his lawyers to defend those charges without actually telling the OSP anything. So to the extent that there was that communication and you did not indicate to him that he was under arrest, it was against the laws of this country for you to proceed to declare him a fugitive.
Thank you.
That is not what the NDC and President Mahama campaigned for. We said that we were going to correct the anomalies in the system and ensure that the laws of this country is given its pride of place when it comes to governance. So we cannot, by any stretch of the imagination, be associated with such unjust actions of the OSP. No. In as much as we want Ken Ofori-Atta to face the laws, we want to do so according to the laws of this country. And for me, that was problematic. Why then did you declare him fugitive when you did not tell the gentleman that you are arresting him? So that is the politics and pettiness I intimated earlier about when it comes to the conduct of this OSP.
Or maybe there's more to it than meets the
eye. Or maybe there's more to it than meets the eye, like you indicated. Those who feel that he's on a journey to make the case useless, probably he could be feeding into that perception by that conduct. And so for me, it's a little bit problematic. Again, you are not the only investigative body in this country. You wake up on a good morning and you have been told that security officers besiege the residence of a former appointee of the Republic.
They were staged.
And you proceeded with taxpayers' resources. With other security agencies.
Confirm or deny.
To confirm or deny. Then you proceeded to grant an interview to say, to do a press conference to say that it was staged. So you see, this was on issues of even competence and credibility, as whether he has the credibility and competence to be able to continue in that office. And if the NDC is a government that is committed to his promise of ensuring that we reset the sector, they should also be looking at resetting the gentleman.
I said yesterday, I'm not cutting you. He needs a psychiatrist.
You understand? Because
he needs a psychiatrist examination.
I think the flow is on fire.
His ability to continue in that office. And President Mahama and the NDC will be doing the good people of this country a great deal of justice if they activate the processes to ensure that he's replaced. Trust me, they will get the needed support.
It's not easy.
From Ghanaians.
It's not easy.
They will get the needed support.
It's not easy.
You see, what is not easy about it?
Even Chief Justice can remove them.
Even the Chief Justice can be removed. So why is it not easy?
It's not easy to get it.
Anyway, again. Now we are told that the security officers who went to Ken Ofori-Atta's house did so according to orders of another investigative body. That consoles me in the sense that clearly it gives a certain impression that the government is not waiting on the special prosecutor to handle issues relating to Ken Ofori-Atta. So the special prosecutor can decide to go ahead with his own investigations, but this government clearly will not be relying on the special prosecutor to bring Ken Ofori-Atta to book in terms of issues of accountability. Be rest assured, and I can assure the good people of this country that this government is committed to bringing him to justice.
Very valid point.
You see, as for the decision to now withdraw the so-called declaration of being wanted, you all know that it's a face-saving mechanism. It's a face-saving mechanism because the facts have not changed. The very facts he claimed that informed the decision, they are still the facts we are dealing with. As we speak, the special prosecutor in his release is unable to tell us when Ofori-Atta will be coming into the country. So we are still in that state of conjecture. So on what basis has he now proceeded to withdraw the so-called directive? Clearly, there is something that he needs to explain to the people of this country.
Have you heard this Nigerian song? Something fishy going down.
Absolutely. There's something fishy going down. I don't doubt it. But you see, my brother.
Yes, sir.
As for the issues of SML, the what you call ambulance scandal and cathedral, you don't need an angel to descend from heavens and tell you that Ken Ofori-Atta needs to answer to these allegations.
Got 370 ambulances.
My goodness.
No, 307 ambulances.
And
10 million disbursed.
Yes.
10 million disbursed without parliamentary approval.
You failed to make it public that the so-called managing director of SML, even before, at the time the GRA and Minister of Finance were taking steps to sign the said contract, he was actually the technical advisor to the Commissioner of Ghana Revenue Authority.
Conflict of interest. Conflict completely.
The gentleman was the technical advisor, and Ken Ofori-Atta knew this. Again, how do you proceed to give a contract, sole sourcing for that matter, to a company with little experience in the field?
They were to be in timber.
You are talking about revenue assurance. Yeah, they have been in timber since 2003 to 2009 or so.
Revenue assurance.
They were doing timber.
And suddenly, because there's a change of government, they decided to embrace revenue assurance. And Ken Ofori-Atta graciously thought it prudent to hand over revenue assurance issues to a company like that through sole sourcing. And you are saying that he has no questions to answer. Who the heck would come to such a conclusion? Again, in terms of the so-called revenue assurance business that we are talking about, there was already a company, Rock Africa, that was engaged in dealing with revenue assurance lapses as far as the downstream petroleum sector is concerned, specifically the National Petroleum Authority. They were already doing the same thing.
Exactly.
They had their systems connected.
They didn't do any work. And what they went there to do was just a total rip-off.
Rip-off. And you were paying them about 24 million.
Every month.
Every month.
How?
And you expect the good people of this country to just take it lying down. Clearly. That is why I'm telling you that, look, when Ghanaians are yearning for accountability,
you know what
it will interest you to know that even their accountability is defined.
Oh yes.
Because the Ghanaian people know that you cannot satisfy their appetite for accountability if Ken Ofori-Atta is not part of your list and is not being called to account.
That would be injustice.
That would be injustice, grave injustice to the good people of this country. I'm not kidding. Look, President John Dramani Mahama and the National Democratic Congress can decide to put about 30 to 40 people of President Kufuor's Nana Addo's appointees behind bars.
Still.
If the name Ken Ofori-Atta is not part of that list, we would have failed in our fight against corruption. Because he was the citadel
What is this fixation
of corruption. Look, we are dealing with a man.
So it's a money matter we are talking about.
We are talking about money. We are talking
Billions,
about
billions.
You have an idea of the lives that gentleman ended because of his appetite for corruption. Today, our state insurance corporation is struggling.
It's gone.
Because he decided as finance minister that it was prudent for his own company to handle even insurance of state institutions. That wickedness and conflict of interest. And you say we shouldn't talk about the need for him to be accountable? You are dealing with a man who presided unjustifiably to ensure that banks were closed in this country, collapsed. People died at the back of that. Those decisions needs to be investigated.
Sharp.
And on top of that, he used the taxpayers' money under the guise of cleaning the sector. That cost us more than it would have required to save even challenged banks. And you say we should not question those decisions?
Who said that?
And make sure that he's brought to book? Look, and when we talk about it, they say, oh, he's a finance minister, so he needs to be respected. What the heck? Was Victor Solomon not an appointee of the world? Was he not a minister of state?
When
When the MPP threw him behind bars? Was the Honorable Adam Ibrahim, then Minister of Agriculture, was he not a minister of
They
state?
have their days in court.
So they say, come
But
and
who is
say,
saying that case should
come
not have
to
his day?
Ghana and answer. You say you are in Mayo Clinic.
What is this? Who is saying that case should not have his day in court?
Come and
Even his excellency, even his
come to
excellency.
Ghana and go and face the law. Don't be in the Mayo Clinic and tell us what to do. His excellency.
We're having a monologue. He's the one talking all through.
Now the point is, you can't observe us here. You come on. You fight with your man.
You see all the time.
Mr. I'm coming. Mr. Isi.
So why are you struggling to defend this?
Hold on.
Why are you struggling to defend this?
Hold on.
It's biting. It's making you uncomfortable.
Hamza. Mr. Isi.
You see, that's why you feel that I've been speaking for
Mr. Isi.
Look at the time.
Mr. Isi. No, hold on. I'm coming. Let me address it. So let me address it.
Finish, you get your time.
Mr. Isi. Mr. Isi, I never. It's not fair. Mr. Isi, you will be honest. It's not fair. That's all. You will be honest and truthful. Yes. You had the longest time. No. You had the longest time. It is going on. That's not what we determined. No. I wake up at 4 a.m. sometimes just to come and become an observer.
I can understand his frustration.
No, I'm not frustrated.
He feels that
But it's not fair. That's all. No, it's not discomforting. No. I take my notes. So,
even though
I'm not.
You were not fortunate to be part of the loot, and you should not boast that you are not part of
There was no loot.
You see, so just be patient, at least for once. Let the
You are a lawyer, so I'm surprised you are saying loot.
Oh, really? You have made references to the unjust actions of the special prosecutor. You were excited. You were excited, not to. So that should tell you that when it comes to me, I only deal with matters of the law according to my conscience and understanding. And so to conclude, you see, the likes of Ken Oforiatta, like I indicated, banks were collapsed for less in this country. Workers lost their lives because of his actions. So it would not be unfair to the good people of this country if we mount the podium of accountability and he's not one of the first people to be presented to the Ghanaian people. We are not saying that we are just going to take Ken Oforiatta and throw him behind bars. Of course, he's going to have his day in court.
All right.
But I'm simply saying that we must resist the temptation to accept these funny excuses coming from him. You are sick. You think that President Mahama was not sick?
Thank you.
You think that Victor Solomon was not sick? Get back into the country. Let us deal with issues according to our laws. I don't see if you have nothing to hide. Why are you outside the country?
Let me read a few.
Oh, he's running. You all know. We all know that. This is aware of what?
Even though I know that I gave you hold on. Even though I know that I gave you a lot of time, I'm still going to allow you 2 minutes. Hold on. 2 minutes to speak.
Let's clarify.
I mean, I know.
I spoke for 16 minutes.
Yes.
I just spoke for 17 minutes. I spoke for
25 minutes.
Because he speaks faster. He speaks faster.
Faster than me.
Oh, you don't speak faster. Yeah. So, Mr. Isi,
allow him to be going. My brother went fishing all over the place against the
you know you cannot bully me on my show.
I'm
out of courtesy. I'm out of courtesy.
Why should I?
Because I know the time that was.
But I'll state my protest. So I woke up at 4 a.m. Then I become listen. That's why I stated my this isn't a political group.
In all honesty,
that's why you invited me.
In all honesty,
that is good.
But in all, you
acknowledge it, and then we make progress.
That's acknowledgement. My acknowledgement of the fact that I can't believe you are creating your own time.
Once we move on, I'm a very fair person.
But when you do that, you're creating the impression that I'm not being fair.
I say that because I felt yes.
Because honestly,
you had the longest time.
No, we are making the time die off.
because you see,
I stated my protest and I'm okay. Yes.
It's political strategy.
No, I don't have a problem with my. I've never been uncomfortable on shows.
All right.
When I have my facts, I don't have a problem. That's all.
We are discussing Kerufria question. Do you know at the point you were told that Asante Bediatu was sick?
Yes.
This country, as if we are Mugus, has anybody cited him being sick?
No, I've not.
Let's ponder.
Listen, Mr. Isi. Mr. Isi.
All of them, when they are sick, they go to the US.
Hold on.
All of a sudden, they're in the US.
Hold on.
You will never see them.
Hold on. I think that in all fairness, we must applaud His Excellency the President for even thinking about wanting to investigate political appointees. You see, because at some point we must begin to have such conversations. It must not be business as usual.
No, government, tell me.
Oh, Mr. Isi, let's have a very intellectual conversation. Let's have an intellectual conversation. You and I. I'm not arguing about governments, previous governments not having done that. I'm saying
yes.
That even though they've done that, what has been the end result? I'm saying that we must get to the point. But why didn't you listen to Afenyo Market?
You don't just
listen to Afenyo Market on the floor of Parliament, where he indicated that they should remember that they will not be in power forever, and that they are all brothers.
But that doesn't stop them from.
No, but that's the point I'm making. This is the disposition of the people that you put into office. So they think that because they are in opposition today, the government of the day should not come after them, even though they know that some of them have committed. What kind of life is that? No, but this is something that we must not encourage, because you see, we all have kids. We all have kids.
There'll be a day of reckoning. So why are you saying that? Use due process. That's all.
National Senate Authority. There's also a letter that has been.
I just saw something. I'm yet to read a press conference about Mustafa. No, I said I'm not ready. Mustafa, Gifty, and there's another person.
Yes, because I told you.
Yes, so they are responding. So the headline was finally response. National Service Authority.
I spoke to Gifty.
Finally, yes.
Gifty
is like a sister. Yes.
So you don't know Gifty more than I. So
that's.
I spoke to her when the matter came up.
Yes.
And I said, why is everybody saying all
pointing her when?
And then she says she's surprised, right?
Yes.
And I said, why is it that she has not responded? Because you must respond. And then she said, oh, they will respond, but they want to do it together.
Yes.
And I said, but why people say, yeah, I'm coming. But I said, why is it that people are talking about a watch? Because I know where she buys her watch from. Yeah. It's not $300,000. Anyway.
Give a dog a bad name.
No, but she doesn't have $300,000. She has $300,000. But what is most, you see, and see, immediately, you are a little surprised that they want to do it together. I know for certain that it may not be Gifty. It may be the people around Gifty who have told the money. Gifty is just the one who is suffering for it.
Because Gifty is the political.
Yes. But again, we can only get to the bottom of this if it is being investigated.
Yes. That should definitely be investigated. Anyway, let's move to
respond. You said the
No, she wasn't the boss. No, but there was a boss. So she cannot just circumvent and
That's what she told me.
Yes.
That's what she told me.
Yes.
Is that even though her name has been mentioned,
Yes.
she was not directly involved in some of the
Yes.
things.
Yes.
So the bosses must
So she's agreeing to it that there were no names.
No, you've made allegations.
She has not admitted. Okay, all
Made
right.
allegations. Then there should be a proper response.
I am for fairness of the system. I am for fairness of the system.
That's all.
I think that we should also be minded by how we easily hang people, because see, the mere mention of somebody having committed an offense or allegedly having committed an offense is not conclusive that the person has indeed committed an offense. We are lawyers. And last time I sat here, last time I sat here. Oh no. But this one, giving you but you see, he didn't mention it. He said that if the person he said that he mentioned specific
In the case of the national service.
Hold on.
A journalist has put forward figures.
Yes.
It is no more conjecture.
Yeah. Yes.
He has been specific.
180,000. Yeah.
You understand? So what are we? That's why.
We're talking. We'll do the research.
No, you see, the point in terms of the figures, until an established court.
Yeah, they were established.
Someone
Yes.
So you can say that the figures are no more conjecture.
Yes.
Because this would lead to the preparation of charges to be presented before a lawful court. But when it comes to the verdict, at the end of the day, it is within the bosom of the judge.
I keep telling people.
People contest us about
Yes. When he was even making references to the fact that these things were approved by Parliament and stuff, I was laughing. You think that the likes of Victor Solomon and the Honorable Ibrahim Adam, when they were brought before court, those transactions were not approved.
Yes, hold on. Let me make a point.
Even Solomon was approved and you're building at 187. So what happened to that?
In your defense.
Yes. No.
In your defense, you are making reference to the fact that all these things we are talking about, they are just approved by Parliament. And so we should not think that Ken Ofrata is guilty.
Yes, so no.
But the gentleman is not even ready to come home.
No, it's not true.
Our viewers watching us and listening to us. So I think we should just we should allow it.
That's what I'm saying. If we have to proceed,
We are proceeding, but I think we must proceed.
All the bravado, you are hiding in Mayo Clinic. All the bravado for 8 years.
Let's have a discussion.
Everybody is hearing.
We must proceed.
Yes.
With caution.
It's disappointing.
We must proceed with caution and to state emphatically that the fact that you may even have clear facts.
Yes.
Okay.
People witness murder and yet we still call for.
He knows that there's a matter of the case where they allege that the person has killed somebody and eventually it wasn't him. It was somebody who shot the person from behind. So he had the weapon.
Yes.
He had a weapon, wanted to go and kill the person. Somebody. Yes. So I'm saying that what you see may not necessarily be what you see.
Yes.
It is only the court that must come to that irrebuttable conclusion that the person has done this.
That's why I'm with the fixation.
That's why I'm for that.
You see, what they have also failed to bring to his attention is that the law does not preclude us from relying on circumstantial evidence to draw our own conclusions. Yes. Is one of the bedrocks of circumstantial evidence. In fact, it is the leading authority when it comes to circumstantial evidence, based on which the courts rely on to take decisions. Because many of these crimes, because the judges themselves are not there, they have to rely on circumstantial evidence. And we are not, as citizens, precluded from also relying on circumstantial evidence to draw our own conclusions, and based on which those conclusions.
Let's proceed. Let's proceed. listen. I think that if we want to reset, we must reset the Ghana Police Service. We must reset the Ghana Army. We must reset all the ministries and agencies.
Exactly.
We must reset all the previous and current appointees. Yes. We must investigate.
The DJ will tell you must even reset the government.
Absolutely.
Because 7, whatever is already in the domain. Anyway, DJ president said this yesterday.
Which 7?
Journalist abused and all those things.
They are abusing journalists.
There were 7 cases already.
Anyway,
DJ, don't
let's proceed.
About the mining.
Asset declaration. Asset declaration. Asset declaration. President Mahama has declared his assets. He's asking the rest to do so by March 31st, our birth month.
Fantastic.
Charlie, next month they will do a party together.
I bet. US.
Hamza, start saving because you are going to sponsor our birthday. Start saving from now.
Really?
Yes. 23rd of March, 24th of March.
Have you got cases? What cases?
In court.
Yes, I do. But okay.
No, it is my. You won't go to court. You won't go to court. My birthday. That's who. How can you be in court on my birthday? On our birthday. So let me start with you. President Mahama has declared his asset. Even though Double is unsatisfied.
No, but I agree with Double.
Okay. Why?
You see, if you declare your assets and citizens don't know, what is the point? So if you go in there and you are writing a lot of crap. You see, we must elevate the bar. We must amend our constitution and the act.
You can even declare a property that you are yet to buy. In the location.
This country, we just put things there. We try to copy, but we don't copy to it.
Ghana.
What has the president declared?
Good question. What properties?
What properties? We don't know.
Where are they?
I was thinking President Mahama will go beyond what the constitution says or what the act says and then say, look, I have 3 properties, 4 properties, one is in this location, one is that. Then it puts everybody on his toes. But with this, now that people are going to conjecture what they will do within the period and then put it there for all of us. So for me, it's still the same. Nothing has changed. Just for the public view, for what you're going to claim to the gallery. That is not it. And that is why we are unable to deal with corruption effectively. President Mahama, maybe you would come back and then give us details of what you have really declared. After all, we voted for you. So you don't have anything to hide from us. If you come and tell us that you have 10 houses, what can we do? No court has pronounced you as being corrupt. So if you have 10 houses, it means you acquire them legitimately. And there is business of you have, and it found this place in front pages of various newspapers. I mean, this place. Last time we were told that they have gone to bust some guys with money at Sapperman. What is the name of the person? They say Alaji. This country, I think the thinking levels are down. Where did they bust it? Sapperman. Oh no! You must elevate. So. It's a good thing in principle.
What has become of the you have, actually, that's a very powerful question.
Forget.
Where is the goat?
Forget. We have to be serious. We have to up our game. You understand? And help the country develop. That is the only way.
There are certain things that listed about it.
It's political.
Too much.
There are 2 things involved.
But
It is either
staged, set up,
either staged, and maybe or some people hardly went into it and realized that look, upon further investigations, this is not. There's nothing. Or some people were simply decided to take advantage of the situation and survive. So, but then again, like he indicated, in terms of I am equally not so enthused about acts of that nature in terms of the declaration of assets and stuff like that. Not because I have a problem with the regime, but I just feel like it is normal with our governance practice. I think every president does it.
Yeah.
But like Solo indicated, we have to go a bit further, especially when it comes to President Mahama, of making it possible, even when we exit the presidency and government, for people to be able to compare that as against what we have subsequently acquired. That should be done. Again, but when it comes to good governance, Solo, you cannot rule out the positive signals these things send.
Yes.
The fact that the President of the Republic has declared his assets, at least it gives some confidence
to our democratic dispensation, even if people don't know the contents of what he has declared, and it makes it possible for his appointees to also follow suit. Now, as to whether what has been declared should be made public or not, I believe strongly that it shouldn't be made public. Because, and I'll explain why. I can understand the interest in making it public. You see, when it comes to the declaration of assets regime, not just in this country, even abroad, in the Western world, it has security implications as well. And it has implications on businesses of these people. You understand? So if you have somebody like a president of the republic declaring that I own a house here, I own a house here, maybe something little takes a decision that is not going down well with people, the first point of attack, they may not have access to the Jubilee House, would be to go attack that property.
But I need a little bit of information
Yes.
here. We have passed the right to information.
Yes.
And by declaring, it means it has been made public.
Public, yes.
Do I have the right to write to the Auditor General to declare what the President has
But then again, the right to information bill tells you that there are certain pieces of information that cannot be declared.
Does it include the declaration?
It depends on how they interpret or define security implications.
Then it means what we are doing is just semantics.
Exactly, that's the point I'm making. It's not just semantics. I'm telling you that even the right of information, though you have the right to apply to get the contents, they can also respond to you and be covered by the same act. Because if it has security implications for the state, they will not declare. And they will be protected in terms of the law. Are you following me?
Yeah, I'm following
I'm
you.
telling you
I'm following
that, look elsewhere. The asset declaration regime is not just in Ghana. Sometimes there are security implications behind the decision not to make them public. So let us not rush into creating certain loopholes in our bid to be more transparent and pious even than the Pope. All what I'm saying is that despite the fact that it's not being made public, if our systems are working, if our institutions are working, it should be possible for us to keep track of what has been declared, so that subsequently when other properties are acquired, we will be able to investigate the person. Because you see, there's no property you acquire in this country that doesn't have a date. We all know when President Mahama was sworn into office, and we know when he would be exiting.
Yeah.
So within that time frame, if subsequently after that properties are acquired, or within that same time frame, it shouldn't be difficult for us to say that he got those properties when he was president of the Republic of Ghana.
Sure.
And then again, that empowers the special prosecutor. In case there's an allegation leveled against him as president, the special prosecutor would have access to the asset declaration document that was presented.
Sure.
And just oppose that against what has now been acquired and take a decision on sale. So it is not everything that needs to be made public. We must look at the security implications. And that is why I feel that we should not take it further by making it public because of the security implications. And trust me, even you.
But I disagree.
I know.
He is a public official. He must. What has he got to fear?
No, you see, that is the point. Sometimes the decisions, you know what we call PEP.
Yes.
Politically exposed person.
Exactly.
My brother, I walked to a bank in this country.
Yes. It happens to be all the time.
Exactly. So even in my case, by then I was not really that active on national TV. I went to a bank to withdraw my own money. I was made to wait for over 2 hours. And the only explanation they gave me was that I'm a politically exposed person. That's what they asked. Why? Oh, because your brother is a member of parliament. And I asked them a simple question. Am I my brother?
You have that is winning.
Am I taking salary from parliament? I'm doing my own businesses and I'm going about. But you see, these are issues. So even your declaration of assets may have serious implications for your family members who don't even know what you own. You get the whole point. So that is why sometimes some of these regimes are carefully guarded and protected, so that when there's the need for us to rely on that declaration regime, we rely on it. But making it public has serious implications.
It is public. You see, for declaring it, it's public.
Okay.
You get my point. The only thing is that we are not publishing it.
You are talking about publishing. I am against the publishing of the content. And I'm telling you why I'm against it.
Let me come to you.
Yes. Asset declaration in a simple.
How did you declare yours?
Asset declaration is a form that requires public officials to report the assets and interests. And it is very interesting. Asset declarations are a key tool in the fight against corruption. That's the interest. Key to. Council, I think we've got into it, but I agree with the security fears of my brother here. But you two lawyers, you know, I want your view, your legal view on these matters. In our country, tell me if I'm wrong, there are instances where we've heard that a whole building or a property or a school is owned by an 11-year-old boy. What is the position of the law on these matters? Because how did he acquire those things? Gift. You get it? But you see, the fears of counsel is well placed. However, counsel, I am also of the opinion that I think there should be a technical committee that must open that envelope, look at it, and know the content.
Without necessarily making it public.
Without necessarily making it public.
That I agree.
You get it? Yes. So that in the aftermath,
at least the council of state even.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
You have
Even the council.
so that in the aftermath, when an issue is brought up, there are evidence that indeed these were the things
The person had A, B, C, D.
before assuming.
Because it can always
Yes.
change.
Yes.
Swap.
Yes.
And
You get it. So this issue of just enveloping,
We don't
trust ourselves. Yeah. You know, somebody even sneaking out for you to change it and put it back. Oh no, it's a group. That's why I'm happy. He even suggested the Council of State. He suggested.
One word to say.
No. They will swear off for secrecy.
People swear for secrecy. Always they forget that.
The auditor general just takes it and puts it somewhere, and then he goes.
But you know, as we speak now,
How is that going to fight?
Can't I also what's it called? Can't I also right to information bill, right?
That's what I was saying.
No, the law protects some of these things. In fact, the RTI bill tells you there are certain things they will not even respond to.
Yeah.
There are categories, and we've had trainings on those things. So that one, the law protects them from denying you access to those information. Which one do they think is too sensitive for the state security and other things? Yeah. So these are matters that we need. It's good His Excellency the President has taken the lead. Okay? And all the others must be shipped to order to do same. But to what end? That's what we are saying.
Yep.
Because you put it in an envelope, go and put it there, and then the guy's like, yes, you get it. And my brother made a very important point. Solo made a very important point. That somebody will assume what he intends to acquire in the 4 years and then may put it there. But Council Hamza answered that well and said everything has dates and code.
Let me find out
in this digital age.
Let me find out
which is
when they deposit it.
That we can mandate.
But the auditor does go ahead to go and do inspections of these properties.
That's a very good question.
Because I mean, the auditor inspects them. That's why I said there should be a technical committee to open it and see.
Yes.
You get it? Because we don't even know. We don't even know the auditor general to do all this. You get it? Yeah. But if we intend to fight, if we intend to fight this corruption, if we intend to fight this, and not be presumptuous that this Oforiata must go to jail by any means necessary.
I'm not interested in
Let's get the money must come.
The money.
He will not go nowhere. He is a genuine person, so that is very important.
Yes.
What did you proceed?
Kwame is so beautiful. The movement for change remains the only hope for this country, and we intend to bring the lives of Hamza and
Why are you laughing?
because they can help in advancing. Look, there are certain matters that we have to straighten up.
You have one strong lawyer there. You want another lawyer from
No, I'm done with my elections, please.
You know,
I'm sitting here as a host.
The president doesn't tell me that.
yes, sir. You made an interesting revelation when you told the whole world, and you. That after the elections, you visited President Mahama, and on that occasion, you gave him the GTP. You see, it's very important that President Mahama always consult the GTP, where the country is not the best of shapes, so that the budget that is coming, we invest heavily in our agriculture sector as well as in industrialization. Yesterday, the Movement for Change brought that issue out forcefully. We have also admonished the government as a matter of urgency, halt the operations of the forest bureaus.
Yeah.
It's becoming topical. And I like it the way people are now seeing the need. It is being discussed on various platforms. Economists are following the discourse. Because you see, this is the only country. Come, you have been to other African countries. Hamza has traveled, AC has traveled.
Yeah.
Ghana seems to be the only country where someone gets up from Nigeria, gets here early morning, and go and get dollars.
Yeah.
So we need to halt it and conscientize our people. There is something we call the national agenda. It is implemented very well in South Africa. South Africa, you can't just go there and say you are changing. We conscientize them to know that their actions and inactions has a direct bearing on the economy. If you are giving out dollars every day, what it means is that the cedi will be weakened, and it will affect all the other sectors of the economy. So the movement has made that important point. We also touched on corruption. That the OSP, and thankfully, as if we knew, see how he is vindicating our position. That the OSP must be independent enough, and must go after corrupt public officials. So that whatever has been stolen is recovered to the state. That is his mandate. He's not just supposed to prosecute, but he must prosecute and retrieve monies such as the ones that he saw at Cecilia Dape's house.
Yeah. And the $15 million that was used to prepare meal.
That matter, we and the OSP, we will not sleep in this country.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. We also touched on what is happening in Parliament. That is not the best of spectacle to see. That parliamentarians go there, instead of doing what is right, they go there and break and destroy items. The movement abhors it. We don't want to see it happen anymore. And we are expecting this government to, as a matter of urgency, deal with Galamsey. You know what? Now it is dying out.
Yeah. The conversation.
The conversation is dying out. Nobody is taking it. No, but we will make sure, because now cholera is out there. And it is coming out of this whole Galamsey business that does not allow us to get good drinking water, and so we are having cholera. So it was a beautiful piece, and the way and manner the media has taken up, we believe that the movement will continue on that light, and expect us to be doing more of these. All the sectors of the economy, whatever happens, we are going to touch on it. And after the budget is going to be read somewhere on the 11th of March. Yeah. After that, the movement will organize another press conference.
Yeah. As
well as the Bank of Ghana matters. You understand? Because you see, we were talking about people being persecuted, Ken being persecuted. There is no political party that persecutes people more than the MPP. I don't know any person that has been persecuted.
I use the word persecuted here.
All right, so people have been chased.
No, I said you invite, use due process.
So yes,
the person is out of the jurisdiction.
Someone like
legally.
Dr. Sima, the current governor of Bangkok.
Yes.
See the way you people have dealt.
We ask questions.
He has no question to answer. In fact, if somebody must be rewarded in this country, given the order of voter and so on, what do they give? Yeah, he must be given one. A governor of Bank of Ghana that decided to save indigenous Ghanaian banks. Indigenous business.
You came to collapse it.
You collapsed it.
Look, did you go read the...
I have read
15 so now.
We read everything.
Because the mama admitted the challenges of the 8 banks.
So
this man supervised your banks. You want the supervisor. Allow them to collapse. This one, all of us will die against you. To allow the legal process to go.
No, who's the 5 people.
You just take one out and then you leave the rest to continue. What are you talking about?
Yes. We'll get him out.
That's your own. That's your own. Get a good counsel and go.
Don't withdraw will be empty.
You have evidence. What's the evidence you have?
For 8 years you don't have evidence.
You brought an issue.
I think that I think.
Let's talk about the issues.
Okay. On that note, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a nice day.
But you made him talk about
Movement for change.
Yes.
Okay, you want to respond to me.
Yes.
You want to talk about.
Because he said
That is so
you're giving the GTP to President Mahama.
Yeah, I think.
It's not fair. That
that-
is how
okay,
the
please.
GTP. And they rejected your resolution. They accepted his document. Then you say he should put his. They accepted and
Okay, Mr. I'm coming. Let's just. So, but Mr. Isi, you will admit, even before the show started. Hold on. Even before the show started, we were talking about how personally I told you about how I was not happy. Hold on. I was telling you about how I was not happy that MPP people were being sacked. I told you that MPP people were sacked. People are being sacked from office. I told you.
They are in a way similar and complementary. So there's nothing that prevents the National Democratic Congress government from looking at their duties. So why are you having a problem with it?
Yeah, this thing was rejected. So you also
No. You see, it was not rejected. We all campaigned on the ticket of change and change one. Change one. You campaigned on continuity and you lost.
So if you go and do another
Campaign on change.
this is what
Did you campaign on change? We both campaign on the ticket of change and change one.
If you don't know Mr. Isi, it be Takashi man. He's not. Listen, all this is they do with Takashi. But the thing about the press conference we had yesterday, I think the question on the forex.
Yes, and the
I think we should look at
forex
it.
is also
I
very
think we should
key.
look at it.
Yeah, it's good. See, some of these things prompts the government. You get it, and then bring their minds on to to listen, and then to be able to change. Yeah, Akufo-Addo was a listening guy. Don't worry, you may disagree, but he's played his part. He got his 2 terms. He's gone. Let him go and have his this thing. Don't worry.
So will anybody from the MPP visit the Akufo-Addo?
Why not? They're always there. People are always there. He's our hero. Don't worry about this. He's our hero. I think the movement for change people, they want some relevance, okay? So let them do what they are doing. But, when Cheddar beat you from 84 to 31, is worrying. Cheddar beat you, brother. Cheddar beat you. No, you don't worry. We have parliament. We have 88 members in parliament. How many do you have in parliament? 41.65. 41.65. That's the official one. Stop the propaganda. 41.65. Easy. Go to easy website. You lie.
All right. On that note. On that
41.65% official.
All right.
To easy website. Yes. No problem. Yes. That's what. 41.65. Easy has told you that they will never declare anything.
Today the MPP are saying 41.
We lost.
Thank you very much.
No.
Thank you.
I said that no MPP MDC.
Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a nice day. Bye bye.